Good morning, Card Beanie. It's RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Going to be a off week for me. I am doing no Mike Schmidt item of the day, no trivia question. The reason being I'm going to be gone this coming weekend, so I will not be able to do a trivia recap, so I figured I would just do some random item from my collection. So today's random baseball item of the day. I just want to show off something from the Conlon collection. Now, people who know the Conlon collection, you either love it or you don't give a damn about it. The Conlon collection has no value. There is almost zero value in any of the items produced by the Conlon collection program from 1991 through 1994 or 5. So the main reason being is it was overproduced. It was not current stars, it was older stars. There were no parallels of any significance, very few autographed inserts. It didn't have any appeal, except to people like me who are diehard trivia and history buffs. I absolutely love the Conlon collection for the type and vast amount of history contained in its pages, in its cards, in its product. So I try my best to buy and own everything, something of everything produced by the Conlon collection. Now, it's not hard, it's not possible for a number of reasons. It really isn't possible to do that. Perhaps there are some people who will endeavor to take the master set approach. I'm not one of them. I'm not going to go into it. Most people, again, don't care about the Conlon collection at all anyway, so I'm not going to explain what the variations are that make it difficult to complete a master set. Anyway, today's item from 1994, the Conlon Collection Color Masters set. Now, they said it was Series 1. I am not aware that they ever issued another one. So I'm not sure how this rates as Series 1. So essentially, they said it was the first in a series of 8x10 card stock images. 9 cards, colorized images from the early days of baseball, limited edition of 25,000 sets, hand-numbered certificate of authenticity. And then it's included in this awesome binder. So here is the cover sheet. I think this actually counts as one of the cards. If you go to the back, this is what you're going to find inside as we go through. And you can see just that little kind of gold logo thing is one of the 9 cards, so it's kind of a little lame that they did it that way and whatnot, but what are you going to do? So here's your master collection cover card, and what's great about these is on the back it gives you all kinds of historical information. It tells you who Charles Conlon was. All right, so I'm going to let you see all of these different images and on the back. So here's a great image. Napoleon Lajoie in his Cleveland Road uniform, colorized. Most of the pictures you see in the Conlon collection, other than World Series or All-Star type contests, when there's a reason to go on the road, he would. But for the most part, Charles Conlon did all of his photography in New York City. Now, there's a major reason for that. New York was one of several towns back in the early days of baseball that had 2 teams, Boston, Philadelphia, St. Louis. I might be missing one, but several cities had multiple teams in it at the time. But New York City was also one of the hotbeds for publication, business, and everything. So most of the great offices of publication houses resided in New York City. Therefore, Charles Conlon was stationed out of New York City, and he would go every day to either the Giants games or the Yankee games, or often both, and snap pictures of everything and everybody having to do with baseball, and accumulated a legendary collection for his employers. So this is Napoleon Lajoie at Hilltop Park, which was the park that the Yankees used when they were still called the Highlanders. in the early days of baseball. So here is Napoleon Lajoie, and on the back, awesome little thing, a little poem that somebody had created for Napoleon Lajoie, issued in the May 1915 issue of Baseball magazine. There you go. This one here, awesome color image of Nolan Ryan and Walter Johnson. Clearly this is photoshopped. Nolan Ryan was not, I don't even think he was born before Walter Johnson died, but certainly they weren't, even as old as Nolan Ryan was, he wasn't a playing era contemporary of Walter Johnson. But here they are shaking hands in this great photoshopped image. The actual person originally in the photo who was shaking hands with Walter Johnson was Lou Gehrig. So if you flip to the back of this quote-unquote card, you will see an explanation of the image, talking about the two great men, and actually does say at the bottom that it was actually Lou Gehrig shaking hands with Walter Johnson. Next image here, I'm going to look it up in a second, but let's see if I can figure it out. Looks like, I'm not sure if that's Cleveland and the New York, I guess. Let's find out who this is. Cool action shot in color. Got a couple umpires in the background there. Look at all the signs all over the outfield fence. So let's see, who do we have? Hilltop Park, again, I explained to you why. Most were pictured in New York City. This is the Yankees' Burt Daniels was thrown out at home plate at Hilltop Park. There you go. Yep, a 10-7 loss to the Indians. Cleveland center fielder Joe Jackson. There you go. If you look at the angle of the photo, I really don't think you can see. If Jackson's in center field, that would have been Joe Jackson, right? If that's a player right there, that would have been Joe Jackson. This looks like a Yankee runner trying to get to the next base here. This is probably the pitcher backing up at home, or that might be the pitcher. I'm not sure who this guy is right here at all. Maybe it was the third baseman, or the first baseman came back. Unknown to me. But that's the guy he was thrown out at home plate. And you see the umpire screaming out. So, no explanation needed as to who you see here. Babe Ruth and his classic follow through. This is a great poem. This is take a look, it is a poem authored by Grantland Rice on the day Babe Ruth died. One of my favorite poems of all time. I'm a big fan of this poem. Here is Home Run Baker. Probably before a World Series Athletics Giants back in the day. Let's take a look and find out the context of this image. Yep, Baker at Hilltop Park in 1909. Maybe it wasn't a World Series, but Frank Home Run Baker. And obviously this is John McGraw. I don't want to swear that John McGraw was always down the third base line, but you can see here in his early days managing the Giants, he is stationed down the line at third. Not sure who the images are in the background. They have black uniforms for those players. Maybe it tells us this was taken at the Polo Grounds. Doesn't say who the team in the background is. Don't know who had black uniforms at the time. Another great story about John McGraw there. I love this picture. This is an early picture of 3 Hall of Famers. You have John McGraw in the middle. You have Kristen Mathewson on the right. And on the left was a Giants coach at the time, Wilbert Robinson, who was a teammate of McGraw's back with the early Baltimore Orioles and went on to have a good career as a manager for a number of different teams, most notably Brooklyn. He was the one who helped Brooklyn get to win the pennant a couple years. I want to say Brooklyn won the pennant in 1916 and faced the White Sox but lost, or not the White Sox, the Red Sox but lost. And I know they made it to the World Series in 1920 but lost to Cleveland. So Wilbert Robinson, Robbie as they called him, was there. He got his start in coaching and whatnot with John McGraw, but he was also a very brilliant person in baseball. I can't recall if Wilbert Robinson got in as a manager or a player. Was he elected as a player in his great glory years as a Baltimore Oriole? Or was he elected as a manager or a baseball executive? I don't know. But that's another great image there. And we show you the picture on the back here. It talks about the image. So that is a fantastic image as well. This one I love. Little known Hall of Famer Huey Jennings. Huey Jennings is in the Hall of Fame for his years also on those great Oriole teams of the late 1890s. But he went on to become manager of the Detroit Tigers in their early glory years. He was manager when Ty Cobb came up. And remember, the Tigers went to the World Series in 07, 08, and 09. They lost all three seasons, all three World Series, and really never were a threat in the post-playing days, in the postseason ever again, while Ty Cobb was a member of the team. But Huey Jennings, he had a very weird person. I don't say weird personality. He liked to jump up and down, and when he got excited, as you can see here, and he was known to shout out, "Yeah!" I don't know why, but that was kind of like his trademark thing. And you can see here it explains that in here. Right here, he's accustomed to "Yeah." Who knows why, but he did that. Maybe it tells you a little bit more about it in here. And then here is my quote-unquote certificate of authenticity. I have set number 8894. So this is my Conlon Collection Color Masters set. All right. I highly recommend, if you're a big fan of baseball history, that you become familiar with the Conlon Collection. The sets are very inexpensive, very easy to come by. Nobody cares about them at all. And the historical knowledge on the back of the cards is second to none. So please check it out, all right? That's all I have for you today. Again, no trivia this week because I'm not going to be around on Sunday to do the recap, all right? Hope to see you again on Wednesday. Just another little showcase, so take care.